Having a sibling with a severe disability is difficult and challenging, yet it can also be enriching. Bethany is here today to talk about growing up with her brother JD, who has a severe disability.
Hi, my name is Bethany and I am 29 years old. I just graduated from Rutgers University with my master's degree in social work. My little brother JD is 5 years younger than me, and we adopted him when I was 7 and when he was 3. JD has 5 diagnoses. He has neurofibromatosis, unshunted hydrocephalus, cerebral palsy, seizure disorder, and Noonan syndrome. So he's a pretty complicated guy. He's nonverbal, non-mobile, and he has a couple hundred words, but you really have to get to know him and be willing to listen to him if you want to hear him talk and communicate with him. And so he's really one of my best friends, and we have fun together. I really love my little brother.
Beth, as you grew up, what was it like living with a brother with a severe disability?
Well, since we adopted JD, I remember it being really hard at first because I was the baby of the family before we adopted him. And then all of a sudden this person shows up who has a lot of medical needs and a lot of attention needs because he needs such help with eating and exercising and stuff. And so it's kind of like the squeaky wheel gets the grease. The family member that needs the most help gets a lot of help. I learned to be a little bit more independent. So I think I kind of worked out of that whole selfish phase, always needs to be the center of attention with mom thing a little bit early because JD needed more help. And I know in film and media depictions of siblings where one is autistic or severely disabled, they always show that resentment that kind of grows. And I think there is a little bit of that where I don't really resent because I've worked through a bunch of it, but I think with siblings it's really easy to get they get a lot of mom's attention or a lot of dad's time, and they really can't help it. One of the things my parents really tried to do is when that happened is all of a sudden bedtimes were eliminated. So JD would go to bed, he had a specific bedtime, and then me and my older brother, who were still living at home, we would get on mom and dad's bed in their room, and the dog would come up with us. We each had our spot, and we'd watch a movie. And so they worked really hard to make sure we had that specific time with them where we could talk about stuff and enjoy each other's company without JD being there, because they knew he needed more time, but they wanted to make sure we had our time as well. And so that really helped kind of ease that resentment that usually can grow with a sibling who needs more attention.
Are there benefits to having a sibling with a disability? Are there ways that it helped you to grow?
I see definite benefits. I look at the world a little bit differently. When we plan trips and stuff, we have to look at it from an access standpoint. So, well, can he go there? Can he see what we're going to see? Is if the event appropriate for him? And so you start to look at the world a little bit differently in ways of inclusion, and that can definitely transfer to other groups as well. Another benefit is that you start to learn how to communicate better with people for all sorts of reasons. JD, you ask him a question, and most people expect an immediate response. And you can't really do that with him because he needs time to process that you asked him a question. Then he needs to think of an answer, and then he's got to have enough time to work up the energy to say the answer. And so it's not like 5 seconds and you're done with the conversation. It can be a 10-minute process of finding out what he needs and how to get it to him. And just being able to learn that some people need communication help. I like to think that I'm a little bit more compassionate, it's easier for me to see things from a different point of view. I think it's influenced some of my choices, like pursuing social work. And I really want to be an advocate for people. I like identifying problems and systems and addressing them for people who have needs that aren't being met. And I think without JD, I would be less effective at that.
What would you tell kids who have siblings who have a disability?
you're part of a interesting group of people. You're going to have experiences that other people aren't going to have. You're going to look at the world a little bit differently. And other people probably aren't going to understand it. They're probably not going to understand what you're going through. They're just not going to get it. I don't know. I know sometimes it can be tough, and sometimes having a sibling who's a little bit different can be hard. It makes you a little bit different, and just, you're kind of blessed because you get to see the world in a different way, and you get to be a part of their life. And so you'll have experiences that other people won't have. And that's important.
What is the best thing that parents can do to help the sibling of a child with a disability?
And so just make sure that like you're still getting those special moments with the other children, those inside jokes, when my older brother went to college and my little brother and I were the only ones at home, he would go to bed and then Mom and I would pick a TV show and we'd watch it. And so for a while it was Iron Chef America, so we have a lot of cooking and jokes. And right now we're watching Blue Bloods because I help out at home now, and so, but we still kind of kept that tradition of checking in, making sure that each other's doing, keeping our relationship going strong and not just being completely focused on what he needs in his life. And as a parent, I think that's really important. You need to make sure that the siblings of your disabled child are still a part of your life and still getting what they need.
That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right.